Hello there, friends. Welcome back to another episode of Fallout New Vegas Faction Warriors TTW Wastelands Edition. Now, yes, you saw that correctly. We're not playing as someone from the Republic of Dave. We're playing as the big man himself, the President of the Republic himself, Dave. And now, two things before we start. First off, we don't have time to make him look exactly like Dave because character creation does take up time. We get something that's good enough. And number two is that although these characters do have their own unique special allocation, here in Faction Warriors we stick to a specific one, and that includes characters like Dave or any other leaders we'll be playing as going forward. Now, something that's unique to Dave's challenge in particular is that Dave's inventory on screen right now is a little interesting. On his inventory is the Chinese assault rifle, that is no stranger to the show at this point. And he has Dave's special key, and there's a little something else he has. Locked away in his safe is his trusty hunting rifle, Old Painless. So you know what, before Dave came over here to annex the Mojave Wasteland into the Republic of Dave, he opened up that sweet safe, got Old Painless, and it's go time. And as we get to the tagged skills and the traits, obviously characters in Fallout 3 don't have traits because traits didn't exist. But the Fallout New Vegas Faction Warriors build does have us go with Logan's Loophole and Skilled because they're both awesome. And just like the special allocation, Dave does have his own unique tagged skills. However, again, we're going with the Faction Warriors build here, so speech, medicine for a bit of better healing, and guns, because that's what Dave uses. Now, one thing I didn't expect when I was playing was for the texture of Old Painless to look like an Institute rifle. Well, looks like I have some fixing to do in my mod order and my I&I doc. But hey, as long as the performance of the weapon itself is unhindered, I don't mind it. Although speaking of this weapon in particular, it is the first in the series to use 32 ammo. And that's why these runs are so fun for me, is because our routing is the same with all of them. But because different characters have different inventories, you never know what you're going to expect. You're going to run into different hurdles along the way. Oh, and just a quick heads up in case you're new, we're allowed to use the varmint rifle to shoot the sarsaparilla bottles because we have to do the first part of the tutorial to get Joe Cobb to appear in the Prospector Saloon. We just sell the varmint rifle when we're done with it. Alright, with the mantises cleared out, we can go and open up that sweet safe, get our hands on that stealth boy, and we're gonna make our way on over to where Joe Cobb is. Now, if this is your first video, first off, welcome. Love to see your beautiful face here. Let's have some fun together, shall we? Now, the reason why we killed Joe Cobb is because he has the second stealth boy. We need two of them for our routing. And speaking of routing, time to head on east. We're going to make our way on over to Hidden Valley. We're going to do our usual scorpion cleanup here. And again, if you are new, just know that rather than just going up to the gate to get it on our pit boy, we go this way because killing the bark scorpions gives us a bit more experience points, and their glands sell for about 18 bottle caps a pop. We use those to contribute to our 2,000 cap credit check that we need to enter the strip for the first time. And when we hit level 2 here, we always take Confirmed Bachelor or Black Widow if we're playing as a female unit because we want the extra damage to male units. Considering that the vast majority of units we fight in this game are male, it's just great to have. And now that we've discovered Hidden Valley, we can go ahead fast travel back to Goodsprings, go up north, past the cemetery, grab the snow globe because we'll need it for some caps later. If you've watched other Faction Warriors videos, you know what's up. If not, this is what we need one of our two stealth boys for. We're trying to get to the Great Khans early, so that we can get them off of our Yes Man checklist. Now, I'm sure it doesn't surprise you to know that we pick Yes Man for these runs, because Yes Man lets us go the fastest due to our ability to ignore anything we want. We only had to fulfill simple criteria in order to get that off the checklist, and the wiki says explore Red Rock Canyon, but my Chinese Remnant run says otherwise. And for those of you who are new, just know that these are not official speedruns. Speedrunning uses a very specific build, and there's no restrictions, as far as I know. Before we make it to the cons, quick question for you guys. Would you guys like for me to make a video that highlights the routing of Faction Warriors? Like, I know that the Chinese Remnant run has all of the routing, but a video dedicated to the Faction Warriors routing specifically. If you'd like to know, just let me know, and I'll make it happen. Alright, let's go ahead and cut over to Red Rock Canyon where we talk to Papa Khan, get the Yes Man criteria fulfilled, and we're going to take a couple of extra seconds to break into Carl's room and loot his footlocker. Usually there's some kind of ammo in there. Luckily for us, there is 5.56. Not always the case, but hey, we got lucky this time. Either that or Carl wanted to pay his tribute to the real president of the Wasteland. All said and done, next up on our list is the fight with Cook-Cook. That is the second required fight for us in this run. We could probably sneak past him. However, there's a lot of experience to be gained here, and there's a lot of loot that can contribute towards our credit check. Now, as we pull out our Institute version of the old Painless here, if you're wondering why I don't go for the fake passport, that is a fast alternative. However, we don't have a speech check high enough to pass. I believe that, what's his name, Ralph? The speech check that you have to pass is 50. We don't have it yet, and even if we did, that's 500 bottle caps it costs us. We won't need it for the credit check, of course, but we will need that for other resources, ammo, stim packs, etc. But yeah, honestly, not much to say about Cook-Cook. I mean, you guys see it on screen. We cleaned him out pretty well here. And what a good president does, serving the people by exterminating common vermin. Although I wouldn't say that Cook-Cook is common. Alrighty then, next up, obligatory mention of El Dorado substation, super important for us to fast travel later on. Next up on our list is the field shack, heading on inside to get that Kid Able and BB gun, that sells for quite a bit of caps. Now, I do have a question, but I'll ask that after we introduce our pal here, George boy. And I gotta say, what a swell guy, he's waiting around for the president of another country to donate some tribute, if you will. However, Dave decides that George is an enemy of the Republic, so he's put down, and we get that sweet 427 bottle caps anyway. Yeah, if you're new here, we killed George boy because 427 bottle caps is just over 1/5 of what we need to get to the strip. Now, this artillery strike run is easily the best we've had in this series so far. We barely got hit there. Now, as we steal from a senior citizen, back to that question I had in mind. Field shacks. Does George boy live there? Is his last name Fields? I mean, if that's the case, wouldn't it be George Fields? Or was the previous inhabitant someone that George boy scammed out of the bottle caps? That's how he has the 427. He's a mysterious one, that George boy. Quite the enigmatic fellow, hard to figure out. I think the latter scenario makes more sense. So, the person named Fields who used to live in that shack got fooled into trying to make that artillery strike run. George boy made off with some sweet baba caps, and now he has a place to squat in. Well, not anymore. Speaking of stars of faction wars, let's pay a visit to our good old boy Dixon here. We're not gonna buy off of him this time, we don't need to, but we do want some of the stuff that's on him. Yeah, 31 bottle caps ain't much, but he does have some chems and some alcohol we can use to build towards Day Tripper. We need 50 here in TTW Wastelands to complete that GRA challenge. And as we wrap up Bizzo here in Freeside between that thug and old Ben here in a sec, real quick, don't forget to vote on these polls here. There's still time. We got quite a bit of them already. I just figured just in case anyone hasn't seen them, bring it to your attention. Just go to the community page, scroll on down, you'll see the polls, and vote on up. Looks like President Dave has some real competition this time around too, eh? Alrighty, we're gonna hoist our Institute Old Painless over our shoulder, head into the strip, and start running our errands. First off, checking in with the Emeritus, get that awesome XP from the speech check, and then we make our way over to the Ultralux, where our man Multima is honored to receive a guest of such high prestige. Who wouldn't want a president staying at their establishment? Alright, last up on our list here is to go after Benny, and well, it's probably a bad idea to earn the ire of a president, especially when he knows where you are. Case in point. Next up on our list of Faction Warriors All-Stars is Wolpez and Kulta, probably our favorite guy to kill here in this series because of all the XP he yields. Well, Wolpez extends an offer of alliance, a Legion Day of Alliance. Sounds powerful, but, well, Dave apparently is not a believer in don't shoot the messenger. And last but not least is the big man of the strip himself, Mr. House. President versus Overlord of the Free Economic Zone of New Vegas. Well, those 4,000 bottle caps for the 2 stow globes is a nice parting gift. You know, President Dave offered Mr. House amnesty. He offered to annex Mr. House into the Republic, and Mr. House refused this most gracious offer. Only thing left to do is see if Old Painless lives up to its namesake. He did with George boy, and it took care of Mr. House pretty quick, so I'm gonna say yes. And you know what? I'm thinking that our, interesting variant on the Old Painless here is a bit of a good luck charm, because Ranger Dobson is actually in his bunker for a change. That's either really good or really bad for our timing, because up to this point he hasn't been inside. We've had to go all the way out yonder by the NCRCF just to track him down. Not here. I like to think that the Dob man is trying to make a good first impression on this foreign leader. And here's where this run took a very interesting turn. Now, watch closely. I'm trying to build up Day Tripper right here, and every time you go, you increase by integers of 5, you'll see the GRA challenge progress, but, it didn't, so we can't get Day Tripper. But you know what? I'm actually okay with that. It adds to the challenge, and honestly, going for Day Tripper in Tale of Two Wastelands does waste a little bit of time. Now, watch this. This may surprise you. I mean, we're not fully healed, but as we break into the Dorado substation, the NCR inexplicably opens fire on President Dave. I'm pretty sure that's an act of war right there. Like, does my copy of New Vegas have AI training or something? Because I swear this never happens. I swear, one of these runs, Georgia boy's gonna have a fat man. He's gonna fire it at us the second he sees us. Then he's just gonna yell, "Rose boy, how do you like it?" Reload, fire, "Rose boy, how do you like it?" Well, as funny as that would be, here we are in Hoover Dam, and gotta say, the Chinese assault rifle and all the runs we've been able to use it has been pretty awesome at mowing down the great cons. And I mean, the Legion has them there as cannon fodder anyway, so I guess that kinda works out. And hey, speaking of the Legion, let's see how Old Busted does against these Centurions. Alright, lining up that first shot, and yeah, that's a sneak attack crit. Goodbye, baby. And though not a sneak attack, we do get a nice 2-for-1 deal with one-shotting Centurions with critical hits. And if you're new and curious, I refer to them as Centurions, just as one would refer to Caesar as Caesar. And though our third attempt at VATS is a bit of a wet fart, no big deal, still take down the third one, no problem at all. And it's right around this time where I'm really wishing that we had Day Tripper because, well, we still have it for right here and this fight coming up. But steady not lasting for very long, and it would be nice to have it last as long as possible, you know? Oh well. And I'll give you a heads up because I recorded the rest of Faction Warriors back-to-back before I went on vacay. Don't worry, this is the only instance of a weapon having this little feature. Yeah, it's a feature of Old Painless. I kept this run as is because I thought it was funny. Well, let's go introduce the heavy derps to our little friend here. I'm sure that's gonna go great for them. Well, the first one went down real easy, and President Dave does claim to be a skilled hunter, and I think that's on full display here, toying with his prey, although I wouldn't say the NCR heavy troopers are worthy of being called prey. More like target practice. I'm pretty confident that they're never going to be a problem for us. So I have a fun little bet to wager here. Any unit who is killed by the NCR heavy troopers here in Faction Warriors is automatically in last place. Doesn't matter how fast they are, if the heavy troopers kill that unit, like, I wouldn't have it as a game over. I would still finish the run, but we could have our own little wall of shame section for units who got killed by those guys. It's like going full speed ahead and then dying because you tripped. It sounds like something that would happen in Elder Scrolls Oblivion, actually. Speaking of that game, I gotta get to work on content for that here before long. Okay, so we'll hit the switch to get those Happy Festival fireworks going off, make our way back out, and before we go to the east side of Hoover Dam, we'll drop us a nice healthy save as we do. That's a good way to monitor our progress as well. All we're gonna do now is pop that Stealth Boy, and we can get straight over to the Legates camp. Thankfully, with Logan's loophole, Stealth Boys last for double the duration, which is why this is possible in the first place. But you know what? Let's see how long it takes for us to kill a Praetorian. I kinda have an itchy trigger finger with our little, accident-happy gun. Okay, that did eat up a little bit of time, but hey, it was still pretty fun, so I don't mind. This is another reason why these are not official speedruns, because I get these random ideas in my head. I'm like, yeah, let's try it out. Okay, well, that was a bit of a dud. Oh well. And as we come up to the second Praetorian here, we won't waste our time. We'll make our way straight to halfway up the hill where we usually go, drop our save, use the Meeting People magazine to boost our speech from 80 to 100, courtesy of the awesome Comprehension perk. I have a good friend who convinced me to try that perk, and boy am I glad I listened to him. Alright, all done with that, we head up to Lanius, and we tell him that he better leave for his own good, lest he earns the ire of the Republic. Lanius thinks that's a great idea, and bigot it bounces. And so does Oliver. Yeah, I figured to just cut straight to where we talk him down, because, like, the run's pretty much over. All in all, not too shabby. Sub 65 minutes, I gotta say, I wasn't expecting that from the President. We could have shaved off a little bit of time had I known in advance that Day Tripper just didn't work. And I did tack on about 20 seconds by vatsing that Praetorian, but whatever. I mean, heck, even with those setbacks, the only unit that we didn't beat was the Regulator. I think the Regulator is going to be a tough one to top, honestly. Next up on Fallout New Vegas Faction Warriors Tale of Two Wastelands Edition is Vance. I'll see you there.